do. Hello? Am I live again? Am I back? Let's see. Not sure if I'm still live everywhere. Something happened. This boss knocked me off of my live stream. What the hell? Okay, I think I'm back. Mama? This boss is way OP. Too OP to be. So yeah, I'm thinking I don't ground myself. Got the tree. Yeah, stream went down. Stream went down, and then I don't know. I was on restream. This happened last week too. Let's see if I get the up there. Didn't give it to me. Okay. Just drop down on them, period. Can they not see up? FBI. FBI, open up. Surely? Can I jump on these guys too? Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. It was windy. We did a storm yesterday, but I don't think it's still like that. Alright. So get electrocuted. Somehow don't ground myself. Assuming I can recover in midair. I don't know. Because your sword doesn't usually light up like that unless you can do something with it. I'm thinking. They couldn't give him a cooler looking sword though. It's like a this is my popsicle. It's mint flavored. It's my favorite.
Sorry again for interrupting. This is a reminder that it's getting late, and you should
So
try
we're going
getting
for
to
this.
a good stopping point.
Oh, okay. I have to throw it at him. Oh no. Ow, why didn't it work that time? No. Got him. We're in the face. Hey, skip me. Boom. Wow, this is an easy boss. Woohoo! Yo-ho-ho! Unless you're easily spooked by a spectacle. Then the spectacle of this boss can throw you off. Ow. Woo! Woo! It's a rhythm game. You die now. It was a trap. Did I miss? I had him point blank. Ow. Point blank did the right. It even gave me a close up of his face. Ow. Which one's lightning? Give it to me. There. Do I kill it now? Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Ah! Take away the curse. Gracious gift of tears. Feel kind of bad. Somehow I feel overpowered. How'd this happen? Oh, I'm back here. Divine Dragon Tears. Tears received from the Divine Dragon, the gracious gift of tears, can only be granted by the mortal blade. The body of the Divine Dragon is eternal, and its tears, once shed, will maintain your form and moisture in perpetuity. Should one of the dragon's heritage partake in the dragon's tears, immortal severance will be reified. Okay. Hey, what happened? Who's this?
Lord Ishin, what happened?
Lord Ishin has succumbed to his illness and passed away.
I see.
I'm sure you sensed it. The Central Forces have taken this opportunity to attack the castle.
And the Divine Heir?
Here.
Secret passage, alright. Reservoir. Not far from the Moon Tower. Okay.
This key, my lord has escaped the castle through the secret passage?
Yes, Master Wolf. The secret passage can be found along the moat in the Ashina Reservoir, not far from the Moonview Tower. Lord Kuro escaped the castle through that secret passage, and should be waiting for you in the Silvergrass Field.
Understood.
The Nightjar have left smoke signals on the roofs Under Lord Ishin's orders, the smoke should lead the way to Lord Kuro.
Feel like this is a trap. It's my experience that bodies evaporate when they die. Can I just teleport there? There. Reservoir. Oh, I can't go this way? Unless I have to go this one? Oh wait. Yo, I have a gourd seed. Yo. Let me holler at you really quick. Watch her and the dude are like sitting there talking. Oh wait, he's back.
Lord Kuro escaped the secret path. He is with the night to smoke.
What about
For the time I will remember.
understood?
Gourd seed. Nice. So, should I be giving...
Forgive me, but now's not a time for libations.
Should I have been giving
Please,
that guy
go
drinks?
to Lord Kuro.
Because I have like a stockpile. I have a miniature stockpile of booze in my inventory that I just kind of assumed it was for lore, so I haven't been bothering. You think we had a rolling outage? You have some power outages. Waldorf. Okay, just follow the rooftop stuff. Okay. I'm just gonna follow the smoke signals. All the smoke signals, nothing to see here. Oh god. Can we go this way? Oh lord. Wait, eavesdrop. Oh god, can't eavesdrop now. Aren't I supposed to go down here in the reservoir anyway? Ah! Oh. Try again. Oh, I didn't rest to get my 8th. Oh, I'm supposed to attack those guys. I mean, I'm going off of the presumption that I have no reason to attack those. Unless you're talking about all these guys I'm skipping. I feel like I did enough of the farming that I don't actually need to. Seven sword Ashina. I mean, no one's intercepting me. See him. Was he the one in like the main? Ah, Kelly. Thanks for the follow on Twitch, where I originally countered him. Seven sword. Who? The lightning dude? Ah, pick up a. Oh, you're still good. Maybe go back up? Is that what you're saying? Oh god. Anybody up here? Oh. I don't remember their names. And didn't he have a spear? Can I survive a jump from here? What if I feather right before I land? Or if there's a tree that I can land on? Yeah, the whole place is on fire. Let's see what's going on here. A bunch of people shooting. Some guys just shooting off into the air. What's up, my man? Ow. Ow. $1,052. Oh. I was gonna go that way, but it's on fire. Can I get a sneak attack on this guy? You're mine now! Oh, I didn't get a chance to eavesdrop. Should probably rest. Oh, but that erased my dude. That doesn't matter.
Did you kill them all? I did. Good. We will begin when Lord Genichiro returns. We will revive Ashina together with the dragon's blood. Yes.
God, he's gotta come over here. I mean, I want him to, but like, just enough so I can. Oh God! There's a smoke wall. Ow. I wasn't trying to throw a bead. I wanted to heal. Okay, let's see if I can get this guy. Oh, I can't. Wow. So was I not blocked by a smoke wall last time? I don't know what's going on. Maybe if you if you just jump off the cliff, you could just skip it. Huh. So the question up. Here it is. So last time I just skipped it. Look, he doesn't see me. Here we go. Oh no! I was gonna let him see me just enough so that I could lure him over here. Ow. Yo, dudes, chill, man. Die. I think I can lure one of them. Can we get a For Honor style 2v or 1v1? I killed him before. I cleared this whole area. Well, now, guys, chill. I think this is just a different dude. Unless they resurrect. Oh, maybe that's the thing. They got the false resurrection. Ow! Trying to do my cloud move, but it's okay. Let's see how can we cheese this? Firecrackers. It'd be nice to put that guy on my team if I could get it somehow do that, but I don't think I'll be okay. I don't think there's enough. I have to neutralize one of them somehow. Unless you think I can jump 1 to 1 to 1. I don't think that's gonna work. Let me think. Firecrackers. Unless. Unless I can lure him over here. Ah! Ow. Oh, wrong button. I'm dead. How did I lure him last time? Did I not hit him? So if I can lure him over here. Because he came right at me last time. Dang it. I think I just threw that one in the fire. Dudes. That hit one of them. Oh, they're both coming. Ah, dang it. I stood up. I'm jumping. I feel like there could be a way. I'm gonna find it. It might be a needle to thread. Let's see. This bush is giving me cover. Wait, see? If I stand somewhere, if I can turn his alertness to yellow, maybe. It might just go straight from yellow to red, though. Okay. This is it. This is how I get... Okay, let's make sure I got the thing. Make sure we're on health. Unless it's automatically gonna pop. Ow! Ouch! You think I could have got him if I went faster? Like if I sprinted in and slid? I was afraid it was going to automatically pop once I passed a certain threshold. Maybe not. That's 3 in a row, unseen aid. The divine air is guiding me. It's guiding my spirit. Oops, that's fire. Yes! Double team time, motherfucker! Ow! Get him! Minion! Attack him, you fool! Up! Ah! Yes! Ow! Watch your attacks! Because if my partner even grazes me a little bit. Okay. Well, at least he took care of him. Ow, it's not working! Can I back attack him? Oh. Gotta fight this guy straight up now. Jesus! Ah, I tried to parry all of those. Well, having the sword guy dies eventually. He never like regains his sentience because you killed him essentially. The trick is for me to use him without him being killed by spear guy too fast. Okay. Yo, get him! So I have to poke in there enough so that I distract him. But I let him do all the heavy lifting. Like so. Oh god, he died! We were almost there! There's a guy with a gun. Oh, you know, last time I used. Excuse me? He's just use his spear. Oh no, I'm gonna go for a second stock though. This is basically how I beat him last time. It was spear versus spear. Ah! No! Oh no, not the fire! There's 3 more. Ow. Ow. I blocked that. Alright, straight up fight. I can't straight up fight this dude. Ow. Ow! Did you just headbutt me? Woo! How'd you miss me? So I could try to get him with that, but... You can block after it.
Okay, seriously, you need to shut
Alexa!
it down 30 more minutes.
Stop. Okay, I have a resurrection. I have nothing else. Oh, wait, you know what? I have stuff, actually. You mean the one guy that's probably gonna get one shot? Because as soon as they attack him, he's gonna immediately take the aggro, and then he's gonna go straight for him. I could do... I think I have Divine Grass. For a full heal. I don't think it's worth it here. This guy? It wouldn't let me convert him! Oh no, because I didn't have enough emblems. Never mind. Ah, okay. I think I could get it. I need the other guy to do more work. And I need to help him more. But at the same time, I need to help him in a way where he's not hitting me accidentally for half health. Can you not hit me for half health, my dude? So wait, maybe after I do this guy, get the other guy with the gun? Does he have a gun? Don't kill him yet! I need him alive! Ow. Keep shooting. Okay, that's one stock. Don't you hit him! Oh no, he just died of natural causes. Okay, the question is, can I do my spear spam for a kill here? How are you blocking that? It should be, especially if you do a hard commitment move. It should be damage all like that. So I have to get him when he jumps for guaranteed hit. Because all these other ones feel like they block. Don't worry, I'll wait. Because even after that one, the triple. Ah! Like that feels like he's vulnerable, but he blocked it last time. Jump up, you coward! All damage. Whoa! Send him into the fire! Oh, not in the fire. Okay, we're at half health and I have 2 spears. Dang it. I have 6 gourds. 1 resurrection. Now I'm probably gonna have full health after this. I should be able to take him. I'm not doing well with the timing. of it for my for the counters. I could try parrying, but then he just does every other move is unblockable. Oh wait, I could do my special attack. Ow, that one is deceptively long range. Oh no, I'm in the fire. This is bad. Damn it. Get out. Oh my god! The thing is, taking these two guys over costs so much. I'm gonna see if I can. What if I just take over the one? Guy with gun is, you know, just icing on the cake, but I need my spears. I'm gonna counter. Next thing you throw at me, I'm gonna counter it. Ah, God! You're rigging erect, fool. Oh, I'm not supposed to use that. Alright. I did it! Finally. Oh, God, he counters immediately! How is that fair? Oh no. Ow. Stop. Oh wait, that's the thing, right? I need to corner him. Ah! Oh wait, I got a resurrection. I got another one? Corner him and go for the bunny hats on him. Ow. Okay, just pick this up. So you have to do both of them. Okay. Got your number now. Oh, not this one. Only the pokey-pokes. Oh, you're backing off now. Ouch. The freaking delay. I'm doing it. I can't figure out the timing for the bunny hops. And he has like an overhead spinning thing that I'm not sure was there before. And the overhead spinning thing knocks you out of the air if you jump into it. I did have spears. If I could get him down to half health. Thanks for the follow. Gotcha now. Get him. Ow. Ow. Get him! Yeah. What happened there, sir? Ow! What did he just die? Oh my god. Ow. Wait, we didn't even get one stock down. Blah! Ow. Please help me have a resurrection. No! Silver attack is low. I'm just trying to fish for his reversibles now. Whenever you want to attack, friend. Oh, can we knock him off? Dude, watch your sword swings! Did I get the right guy? Oh, thank you. No! I can't see! No. Okay. Oh my god. He keeps juking me with his mini pokes. This is it. All I have to do is get him down to health and I have 14 spears. How is that not a parry? Ting. Oh sh! That's another one. It's hard to tell whether he's gonna go straight, whether he's gonna slow his own attack down by digging through the ground, whether he's gonna short poke. I think first and foremost we need to get at least one stock with assistance. Bunny hop. I don't know how to do the bunny hop. This guy won't let me get in close enough to bunny hop. Oh, I killed him! Damn it! See, it doesn't stop him. I feel like it's supposed to, but this guy's better than the last guy, so it doesn't. Jumping on their head is supposed to, like, you know, make them stumble back, but he just eats it. He just tanks it there. Maybe that's what messed me up. That one. Twice a hand, use sword. Oops. Oh god, oh god, oh god, no! Just kill me. Wait, can I reset? Probably not. Rude! That is rude what you just did. Sitting here trying to pray to Buddha. Let me think. I just wasn't paying attention there. I'm blocked. Well, I'm supposed to just sit in the corner and just block. Maybe I'll manipulate their RNG to just do stupid. I thought I could slide in, you know, just, you know, run in and slide into my spot. There, in the short sprint. Come on, man. This guy's the worst periphery in the history of periphery. Whatever helmet you got on, dude, you need a refund. Okay, you're mine this time. Maybe I get the gun guy for, Can I McCurry counter that? Leave him alone! Jesus! He comboed me into fire while my friend died. Blah! Okay. Let's take care of that fence. Or bring our guy back to life. Our gun shooter. That's where I need to hit him. Jesus. Wish he could take fire damage. Shit. For the jump! Fight me. I hate this guy. I hate him. Firecrackers. Firecrackers and then going in. I feel like he's gonna block. I can hit him with the first hit, and then he'll block the rest. Let's see, what else do I have? I could deflect with this. Apparently there's a wider window of deflecting and then repel his energy right back at him, but oh my god. I can shoot him for 3. I need something cheap. Shurikens? That's why I like this one, because it's cheap. Do I do one of these? Do I do these while the guy's attacking him? To get him out of attack so he's just getting spammed by the other guy, maybe? Let's try that. Ah, god dang it! Come on, come on, come on! Whew. 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 It's the most intricate mini boss fight ever. What? Cheaters! I think. Or I throw dust. Cause that won't use up an emblem. Instead of throwing a shuriken. So I can keep that spear, maybe do maybe that. Unless I use firecrackers not for damage but for posture damage. Maybe. Woo! Almost lost it. Excuse me? The tree's here, sir. Get him! Don't push him, attack him! Get back here! Oh no, not both of you. Yes, recover your posture. Dang it. Oh god, I thought I had my... Oh god, wait. Appreciate you waiting. What if I actually switch this up? Maybe we bring out the mortal blade. Maybe he's like allergic. Do the jumping attack. Only afford one more of those? You're just staggered enough so you can't parry it after. Oh god! I purposefully stopped to parry it. I do. We have to get a first stock with the other guy. But then do I do... I'm gonna try to see if maybe the Mortal Blade is the answer. Guy! Attack him! Ow! It's hitting me!
Well, your 30 minutes are up. It's 2 in the morning.
Alexa, stop. We got one. Mortal Blade time. I didn't feel like a lot of damage, posture or otherwise. Holy crap. Alright, can I afford more blade again? 3. What can I afford? Maybe rush? No? Shadow rush.
I thought that was gonna be it.
Yes! Yeah, eat that. What's wrong with you?
Why aren't you helping me?
These guys killed all your friends. You're just sitting there. Thanks. Probably should have rested. But I feel like I can make it to that bonfire down there. Bonfire. Thing. Thingamajig. Just be very careful. Sometimes there's guys over here. Like, how would you do that otherwise? Do you really just 2v1 that fight? I mean, maybe you can, like, do a figure 8 around the fire, maybe? And maybe they'll be caught up on that enough for you to perfectly parry everything that's thrown at you? Maybe? Other than that, I don't know. I think the way I did it was, oh god. This feels like a cloud wall is gonna form right behind me. Define air.
Lord Kuro.
You're still bleeding?
Shinobi of the Divine Air, we meet again. Behold, the second mortal blade.
What?
Genichiro. If you think you can change Ashina's fate with such a thing, you are mistaken. Wolf.
Yes.
No one has the right to the dragon's heritage. It is no one's to bear.
Why does it exist?
I wish there was another way.
It's all right. One last time.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's finish this.
Dun, dun, dun. Is this the last battle?
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Ow. Oh no! Oh no, no! Not this guy again.
I will not allow Ashina to be crushed. Yes, that's it. Your strength.
Ow.
A waste.
I too have a duty that I must uphold. Farewell.
Okay. All right. How do we fight him last time? I forget. I don't think we even used anything. I think maybe we used this one. This doesn't matter anymore. Maybe. I don't think we used firecrackers. I don't think we used any tools. Yeah, it was just pure aggression. Alright, wait. Do I want to try the cloud? Because it's fast. I like how fast it is. It costs 1 though. And even when it's gone, it has a nice attack without the cloud. Mortal draw is too slow. Let's try with this. Just for fun. Skirt. Anybody in the field want to Ow. Where was that follow-up last time? Can you find a safe healing? Maybe I go to that boulder. Last time he didn't follow up that attack, so I was like, all right. I just parry it once and I'm good. Go in. Oh wait, he's winding up for a second. Wham! Like, okay, now I gotta worry about my health. I feel like we go around this boulder. We play
I will restore Ashina to glory.
You think he crushes it? How much do I bet he crushes it? Oh, he does not. His attack does go through it though.
Not allow Ashina to be crushed.
Ow. Ow.
Yes, that's it. Your strength.
I also think that's a good attack because he seems to like to parry, or just he likes to tank his attacks. He doesn't like to block. I'm learning this guy's patterns. I'm a slow learner. Trying to find my opening to drop the cloud. Because it actually comes out really fast. It's just hard to press fast enough.
Restore Ashina to glory.
See, he didn't follow up that time. Oh, now you block. Can you not get hit by that one? Please. Ow. I attacked you first. I don't like how that played out. He plays like old Ash. What's his name? Ashina. With just a few little tweaks, but just enough to throw me off.
Ashina to glory.
And his is that taking my health? Did that take my health through my block? Or do I have to perfect parry it for it to work? The high grass is enough to obscure. It's taking it. Okay. Chill, guys. Alright, fine. I feel like that's like double. Just because I'm rich. I'll let them breathe easy. Is there anything I can buy with 2? Posture, but that's from Deathblow, and that is not relevant for a boss fight. Whatever, here we go.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Ow. So it takes less, I think. I was running to heal. Okay. All right. Let me think. Let me just put it on feather just because. If anything, it's the only thing that makes sense. Unless I have a feeling even with feather, he'll hit me. Or I can't do it. It won't activate it, which is gonna make me
Ashina to glory.
Trigger me. Ah, it works. Dang it! Should have feathered. Dive at me. Ah! Okay. Okay, I got it. Just feather. Feather on not poke attacks and his mortal blade. And we should have it. And then we got lightning round, which will be a whole new thing, I'm sure. I just wish he would shut up.
Restore Ashina to glory.
Dang it. Don't shoot me with nothing fancy. Let me heal! Let me heal! Ah.
I will not allow Ashina to be crushed.
I parried that!
I rolled to the side.
Yes, that's it. Your strength.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Camera.
I too have a duty that I must uphold. Farewell.
What's up, Michael? I think I'm just tired. It's 2:17. Technically, I'm not sure how long I've been streaming. We went down after like probably 2 hours, 3 hours. So probably been streaming almost 4 hours. I have 2 coins to my name.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Feather. Forgot. Ow. Let me heal. Time out. Time out. I don't know why I keep forgetting a feather. Like I said, I think I'm tired. Come on, brain. We can do this.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
It's fun. I don't know. 11:17. Nice. Something's making this pop out. So I'm gonna go to this. I feel like this one's harder to pop out, but watch me still do it. Alright.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Jinx. I feathered. I was just gonna feather every single.
Yes, that's it. Your strength. I will not allow Ashina to be crushed.
I feathered. Ah! You.
I too have a duty that I must uphold. Farewell.
Stick and move tactics. I gotta save stick and move for lightning guy. I need to learn how to be tight inside him. Where it gets me is when he jumps, because there's something about being so tight on him. The camera going up like that messes up. Like you want to sidestep easy, but because the camera's pointed up, it doesn't want to.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Here. Oh, and then he follows up after he eats one of your attacks there. And ow! Stop it! See, he like tracks. Feather.
I will not allow Ashina to be crushed.
Wasn't sure what to do there. Like I said, I think I just need to Feather anytime I'm out of position, get back in position, just keep up the pressure and just not stop. Even if it's not one of the special attacks. At least for the first phase, let's see what happens if I could just rush down the first stock. Because, like I said, don't feather?
I will restore Ashina to glory.
At least for that. I feel like I'm attacking him faster, or he's popping up. He's popping up like super fast. Because then he catches me right in the middle of a swing.
I will not allow Ashina to be crushed.
And then I panic to try to heal, and then he gets me. Ow. And then the arrows come out. This fucking guy!
Your strength.
He feather there when he jumps. Damn it. That's one stock. That's not it.
In the end, I was powerless, but grandfather was not. The dragon blood surging through her veins. With this, Ashina's long night comes to an end.
Can turn into a dragon now? Uh-oh, not the booty chasing.
Pitiful grandchild. This was your last wish.
What?
To see Ashina returned from the great beyond. Which means Sekiro. I must destroy you.
No.
Count Sekiro.
3 stocks. Fun. This is gonna be fun. Good stuff. So the question is, I have to go through dude every time. It's not even a question. I have to, right? And then I get to this. All right. What do we have? What do we have at our disposal? Let's eat all of our candy. Is he technically a apparition? Technically? Red lump. Sir? Alright, let's do this. I have that attack. Doesn't look as fancy as yours. The Ashina Cross. Who's? Oh God! Whose is better? Ow. Jesus! The double? I got positive damage on him. Ah, I hit him! Nope. What? Oh, I thought he was putting his sword back. I guess we keep learning. The double? I don't know, man.
Hesitation is defeat.
I didn't hesitate. You did. You you messed me up. Unless you're saying your hesitation made me mess up. Let me think. I kind of like. I've always kind of like this, because if you hit him with it, then you jump up and you stagger him while you get free slashes on your way down, but it costs 2. He's fast. Can I get his son or his grandson to be on my side?
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Okay, I feathered, but that's alright. Blah. Death. I need to basically beat this guy without healing. Then I will feel maybe comfortable about facing his granddaddy. His grandfather.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
I attack first. I'm spamming the block button. Just gonna take a drink. Hey! The timing on his jump is so cheesy. It's almost I almost want to say it's input read. I almost want to say it's input read. It's close. It's not, I don't think it is, but it's the timing. It's just very fast, especially compared to his other jump where it's like you can dodge it forever.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
This is why I just only block. Of course. Okay. Eventually I run out of posture. Eventually I run out of posture. Something's just off about his timing.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Oh, you just go behind him. Wait. Chill. I guess you could bait that. See, if you hit him twice, you can knock him out of his unblockable. But committing to spamming an attack is basically committing to get hit by his jump if he does it. Whoops. I could try to go for his jump in and then parry that every time. It's pretty good.
I will restore Ashina to glory.
Oh, don't you do it. Jump in. He's recovered his posture by this point. Jump at me. Man.
Not allow Ashina to be crushed.
Okay. Dang it, stop going for him after. Ah, stop! Okay, 6 gourds.
Count Sekiro.
6 gourds, full health. What are we doing with this guy? What are we doing with this guy again? I don't even know. Ah! Wait, man. Chill. You go to bed. Yeah, at least I figured out the first phase. What do I want to do? Because he can counter this when I'm feeling. He's going to do it. If there was any guy that's going to Mercury counter my stuff, it's going to be this guy. I could do this just for mobility, even though he's super fast. I hit him with it. He just put his hand to his side and he I was ready for it, I promise. Come on, dude. This is me. It's all me. Messing up. I'm also trying to at least try to learn his moves a little bit. Oh god, not this one. Now! I tried to parry that. Ah, oh, come on, parry that. I want to see what it looks like. Dang it. It's so fast. It's so fast, but it's not instant, but it's so fast. It makes you think that you can do it, but it's almost pretty much instant. Yeah, I think I need to go to bed. I can be here all night, but at least we pretty much figured out the first phase. Let's see if there's anything we can do to our prosthetic. Not that we're even using it. We can get through the first phase pretty reliably with by focusing on. Hello? I do it myself. Okay. What are we trying to do? Kunai. Apparition Shield. If I had to get one, what do I want? I kind of want this one. Because I like spears. And this one will be on fire. So can I afford this? I can't even afford this because I need pine resin ember. You think that's the easiest boss? I mean, if you know all his moves, every boss could be easy, technically. I don't have enough coin purses to pop, but I don't have the pine resin. Not that I could even get this if I... Oh, I could. Pine resin! Maybe this guy over here has something to sell. Is everybody just dead? No, he's here.
So, it's finally begun. Isshin Ashina's gone, and the Central Forces have launched one hell of an invasion. The Ashina are likely finished now. Maybe it's time I wrapped up here too. Any more business with me, friend?
I don't know what you get. I bought everything you own. What am I looking for? The resin. I don't see any. Can I sell them the coin purses straight up?
Until next time, friend.
Alright. Hey, there's something over there. This thing has been empty forever. This is the first time something's been in this box. Wait, it's empty. It's glowing. It's never glowing. Debated. Alright. The thing is, I'd hate for this to be the last fight and it's just like roll credits, and then that's all I do tomorrow. That's the thing I don't want to happen. But I don't know. I don't think I can beat this guy tonight, unfortunately. I'll have to think about it. It's one of those things that it doesn't feel like the worst fight in the world, but it feels like it feels like after I sleep on it, I'll be like, okay, I have some ideas. But right now, I have no ideas. Just try to block. I'm basically at the mercy of this dude. And rule number 1. I don't know if it's rule number 1. I know in track, running your own race is always like the key. You don't go off of anybody else's pacing. You don't worry about your surroundings. I mean, obviously, unless somebody's in front of you and or boxing you in. You run your own race, and in a fight, you fight your own fight. Right now, I'm fighting this guy's fight, and that's not how to. I mean, unless you, like I said, unless you perfectly know every move that he does, you know the telltale signs before he does it, and you know how to parry, the timing to parry all of them. Even then, it's very difficult. So I have to figure out a way. And running away, doing the run away tactic, like straight up sprinting away, doesn't work with this guy because he rushes down super hard. Oh, look, we got knocked out by Rockadobo, so you get it. Yeah, I feel like I could do it. I'm scared that there might be a fight after this. The fact that it's 3 stocks makes me think this is it, right? This is the one. This is the boss that everybody's like, this game's too hard. The question is, does each stock increase his aggro / RNG / move set? Does he have like a phase after the 3rd stock? Does he get lightning mode? Does he cut his neck and then something else comes out? Then I'd be like, come on. This is why people are cheating in this game. But well, I'm having fun. I'm learning. I'm not cheating myself. What's the quote that's going out there? I'm not cheating myself. I'm not cheating the game. I'm learning. I'm growing. Blah 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 blah. But play the game how you guys like it. As well, I'm on the camp of, you know, just don't worry about it either way. Just have fun. But I'm out of here. Peace. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Sorry the stream went down for a little bit. There was a blackout or something. I'm out. Peace.